I was exercising more than ever, running, workouts, trying to eat better, and my body still wasn't changing. And the weird part? I actually felt more tired, more stressed, and like my body was holding on to fat even harder. Then I discovered something that completely changed how I think about fat loss. It wasn't about doing more exercise, it was about fixing one hidden system inside the body that almost nobody talks about. If you've ever thought, I'm working out, so why am I not losing fat? You're not alone. Most people assume fat loss is just calories in, calories out, more exercise. But what if that's only part of the story? Because for a lot of people, exercise doesn't automatically lead to fat loss. In fact, sometimes it does the opposite. In this video, I want to break down what I believe is the missing link, the system that decides whether exercise actually helps you burn fat or just stresses your body out even more. And that system is your energy regulation system, especially your mitochondrial function and nervous system state. We're taught something simple: exercise more, burn more calories, lose fat, and in theory, that makes sense. But in real life, it often looks like this. You start exercising more, but your weight barely changes, or it goes down and comes back, or you feel hungrier and compensate without noticing, or you feel exhausted and less consistent. So what's going on? Here's the missing piece most people never consider. Your body doesn't just respond to exercise, it responds to stress, recovery, and energy availability. If your system is already under strain from poor sleep, stress, inflammation, or burnout, then exercise isn't just burning calories. It can actually push your body into a conservation mode, where instead of releasing fat, your body becomes more protective of it. Not because something is wrong with you, but because your biology is trying to keep you alive and stable. That produce energy. Think of them like your body's power plants. When they're working well, energy is high, metabolism is flexible, fat is easier to use as fuel. When they're not, you feel tired. Your body prefers quick sugar. Fuel fat burning becomes less efficient. Recovery becomes harder. Now, here's where exercise gets misunderstood. Exercise doesn't automatically equal fat loss. Exercise is a signal, and that signal says, we are under demand. Produce energy. But your body has to decide, do we have enough energy to respond properly, or are we already stressed? If your mitochondria are functioning well, exercise improves fat burning. But if your system is already overloaded, exercise can increase fatigue, raise stress hormones, increase hunger signals, reduce recovery, and temporarily suppress fat oxidation. So the same workout can produce two completely different outcomes depending on your internal state. That's why two people can do the same exercise and get completely different results. This is where things get controversial, because people assume if you're not losing fat, you just need more exercise. But for some people, that's exactly the wrong move. Here's why. If your system is already stressed, exercise can 1. Increase cortisol load. Not bad in itself, but chronically elevated stress signals can push the body into conservation. 2. Increase inflammation temporarily, especially with poor recovery or sleep. 3. Increase appetite compensation. You may unknowingly eat more later without realizing it. 4. Reduce NEAT, non-exercise movement. You exercise, then move less the rest of the day without noticing, so your body balances the energy back out. And most importantly, 5. Keep your nervous system in survival mode. When your body feels like it's under constant demand, it prioritizes safety, stability, energy storage, not fat loss. So if exercise alone isn't the answer, what is? It's not do less forever. It's this: improve your body's ability to produce and use energy before pushing more output. In simple terms, fix the system that determines how your body responds to exercise. That includes sleep quality, nervous system regulation, stress load, metabolic flexibility, mitochondrial efficiency. When this system improves, something interesting happens. You don't necessarily need more exercise. You just start responding to it differently. Same workout, but more energy, better recovery, more consistent fat use, less fatigue. This is the shift most people never make. They try to force fat loss through output, instead of improving the system that determines how output is handled. When I started looking at fat loss through this lens, I stopped focusing only on training harder, doing more cardio, pushing through fatigue, and instead focused on improving recovery, lowering constant stress load, supporting energy systems, paying attention to how my body actually felt after exercise. And slowly, things changed. Not overnight. But the key difference was this. Exercise stopped feeling like punishment and started becoming something my body could actually use properly again. That's when fat loss started to feel less like a struggle and more like a side effect of my system working better. This isn't saying exercise is bad. Exercise is one of the most powerful tools we have, but it only works optimally when your system is ready for it. Otherwise, it's like pressing the accelerator in a car with no fuel. You're pushing harder, but not necessarily moving forward efficiently. So if you've been exercising and not seeing results, don't immediately assume you need to do more. Instead, ask a different question. Is my body actually in a state where it can respond to exercise properly? Because sometimes the missing piece isn't effort, it's recovery. And when that system improves, everything else becomes easier. If you want, I can break down exactly what I'd include in a fat loss plus energy reset protocol next, step by step. Just tell me.